think Beanie knows a little bit about this guy, but his uncle Billy Hargrove.
Yes, sir. Billy, Beanie, you got a mic over there, buddy?
Hey, come over here.
Todd's
come over here and Todd's spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, you hear us talk about him, you know and you love him. Ricky Hargrove, also known as the Beanie.
How y'all doing this morning?
All right.
We're doing well, brother. Tell Miss Jane we love her.
Hey, Miss Jane. Everybody loves
sure she's listening.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your uncle, buddy.
Well, what I can remember from my days growing up, when Uncle Billy played at Florence State. That was Florence State.
UNA.
Now it's UNA.
Right.
Yeah. He played 1 year, I know, at Carson Newman as his freshman year. Well, make a long story short, him and my aunt Jan, which they been married for years and years. They was high school sweethearts. Well, she went off to Florence State as a cheerleader. He went to Carson Newman as a football player. Well, he got homesick, so he transferred to Florence State. So everything ran from there. But I can remember me, my dad, and my Uncle Tink. Everybody knows Uncle Tink.
Oh, yep.
We would pile up on Saturday mornings about 10 o'clock, and we'd go pick up my grandmother, which we call Mama Hargrove. We'd go pick her up. We'd go to Florence every Saturday that Florence State was at home.
Right.
And we'd go at 10 o'clock. They wouldn't play till about 1, but Mama Hargrove wanted to be there 3 hours before game time. But I remember going to Brawley Stadium and sitting and waiting. And
3 hours before game time.
Right. And we'd watch every game that Florence State played for the next 3 years on Saturday afternoons at Brawley Stadium. And so Daddy and Uncle Tink, they went on the road a couple times and watched them play. So, it was just a family affair every Saturday to go watch Billy play, and everything. So, and he played, I think he was strong safety or free safety, one of the two. Him and Jim Ezel, which used to be coach at Athens.
Right.
They was the safeties back in them days. So, when I played at Athens, Jim was one of my coaches, so I knew all that aspect of it and all that. But yeah, there was some days, that I can remember when we were going to watch those Florence State Lions come out of them old tower down there on I guess the southwest corner. They dress in them dressing rooms back there, and everything. And after the game, we'd wait on him to come out and just we'd go eat.
Good memories.
Come on, yeah.
Good memories.
So, Judge, what you got on him about his high school days at Athens?
Billy, I tell you, I've got incredible memories of Billy Hargrove and Jan. See, Amy and I go back. Listen to this. My first date with my wife, Amy Black, was in the back seat of Jan and Billy's car going to a sub-deb dance in 1969.
So y'all go back a few years.
We go back a few years, but we had a similar track record. We found our girls early in life and hung on. But
yeah, y'all did.
Billy was one of my really first true heroes. Billy was 4 years ahead of me. Of course, I wanted to be a ball player at Athens, and as an 8th grader or 9th grader, you look up to those guys wearing those gold helmets and gold pants, and it was a big, big, big thing on Friday night to see the Eagles play. But Billy, I'll say this, pound for pound, I think probably as fine a football player as ever played at Athens High School. He would absolutely knock your head off. And Billy would play strong safety, and I remember Coach Phillips, my offensive coordinator at the time, when Billy was playing, was at Dexter. And he said, we had this guy number 40 for Athens, and on film you could tell. He said he would cheat up so much like a linebacker. He said, you knew you could beat him deep. He said, let me tell you what, I ain't beat him deep yet. He said, Billy Hargrove was the smartest football player I've ever seen. But Billy, everything he did, Rick, he excelled in.
Right.
Okay? Billy came to Athens in about the 6th grade, and next thing you know, he's 4 sports, right? And probably his greatest exploit was in track.
Right, yeah. I remember.
Let me tell you, Doug Yates, he and I were talking. Doug graduated, and Doug threw the discus, and Doug said, let me tell you something. He said, my greatest memories are on the track meet. When it came time for Billy to run the mile, he said everybody else there stopped and got to the fence to watch Billy run the mile. Billy still holds, 50 years later, the record at Athens High School for the mile, 4 minutes and 36 seconds.
Wow. That's smoking.
And nobody, you just didn't beat Billy Hargrove because of his heart. I'll never forget this 220 track up here at the middle school.
Yes, sir.
Was built when I was there. Billy ran that thing, and y'all, one day, Billy is about 5 yards behind whoever it was coming down the straightaway in the mile. Billy sprinted to the finish line and dove across the finish line on asphalt to win that race.
Wow.
That to me is the most vivid memory of who Billy Hargrove
Unbelievable.
is. But let me tell you right now, Billy Hargrove is the real deal. President of the senior class, president of the National Honor Society. They got to have their graduation in '69. They always would have a guest speaker. They decided, we don't want a guest speaker. We want Billy.
Right.
Wait till something.
I remember that. Yes, I do.
That is
So I
great.
can't say enough about my love and admiration and respect for Billy Hargrove.
That is great.
And I remember growing up, he would run on, I guess after he got out of college, he would continue to run anywhere, anytime.
Right.
Any chance he got, he ran.
Really?
And yeah.
So that boy's a running fool.
He was.
That's one of
back
my
in the
favorite
day,
lines
but
from
I don't
Forrest
know
Gump.
where, he probably not these days, but I remember back in the day though he was a runner.